All right, everyone. I was having technical issues yet again with, it's not even the internet this time, it was Zoom, and my microphone stopped working and everything started to freeze, which was really, really frustrating for me. So, Kristin, thank you so much. You were in the middle of talking about running, coming back into running post-pregnancy. And I don't even know if you remember where you were at, but if you remember what you were saying, to share it, because I was saying that I couldn't wait to see that. I don't want to call it a comeback, but more of like that return to running in a smart and intuitive way, maybe is the best way to put it.
Yeah, so I think what I was saying, that's exactly it, being smart about it, right? Because I said, my husband, because he knows me so well, was like, are you just going to get right back into it? Like, you need to run the day after delivering? I was like, well, no, it doesn't work that way. That wouldn't be safe, number one. But I said, I made a vow to myself and our family, like, I am not going to be that person that's like getting right back into it right away. It's a major life change, and I want to experience the time with my new baby and family. So I am definitely going to, ease back into it. I don't have anything on my training schedule until Chicago at this point. So really just taking that time to make sure that I come back in a smart and healthy way. In a way that like doesn't have me burn out, right? Because I can imagine if I'm going to be a first time mom, having a newborn is not going to make training any easier. So like I want to make sure that like I establish a routine with my baby and I come back when I'm ready. I don't want to feel overwhelmed, and I don't need running. Like I think you were talking about earlier, like I don't need running to be something that doesn't bring me joy. So I need to balance it appropriately and give myself time without it. And I said, the second thing that's great though, is as a coach, I get to live vicariously through my athletes. So they may not know it, but like they bring me so much joy and keep me connected to the running world, because them racing and me getting to be a part of their racing and training journey makes me feel like I'm still connected. So even if I'm not running, I'm connected to the community in some way.
Yeah, and that's your own evolution as a runner too, right? It's like your evolution as a runner, and also a great reminder that being a runner means doing more than just running.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
All right. So final question here. Zoom, hold on here. The final question is, how can we make running more accessible?
Oof, that's a good one. So I think there's a few things, right? So social media, I think it's good and bad, but it has opened a realm of possibilities for running and access. And I think, like we said earlier, I don't even think I don't always think it has the best information, the most accurate information, but at the same time, it is exposing those people who are certified and educated. And I think of some of the people that I follow that I know have done the proper training. And so I think that's one way. Social media, I think, is great. Um, I think we just need to get, like, as coaches, sometimes I think we get caught up on like bringing in so many athletes, but I think we can find ways to give back in our own local communities as well. Like I know, like my team, we do the ARC program through our training group, and that's essentially where we offer 12 weeks of training to runners that maybe don't have access to it. And
Mm,
it's an all women's group, and we provide our services to them. So I think that's really nice. Or just like using your coaching tools in ways that maybe you never saw possible. So like I do Girls on the Run, and
yeah.
that's a great way to get back. So just ways that, like, I think it'd be great for especially females, that you can expose them to a healthy running environment young. And that's why I do Girls on the Run a lot, because I feel like it's a great way to use running in a positive way. And it helps with body image, it helps with like everything, because it helps them develop a healthy relationship with running, and then it helps them feel more confident about themselves. So I would just say, like, as a coach, look for ways that you can help outside the norm.
I love that because it's giving back, but that's a challenge in and of itself too, of right. Like, how do you give back to people who don't necessarily have the same buy-in as those who seek you out and are paying you, right? Because it's
Right.
that is a big part of it too, of coaching within the community. Even something like Girls on the Run, which is such a great organization, like that is something that the girls are choosing to be a part of.
Exactly. I just think, like, as a coach too, it's good to volunteer your time. Like, it doesn't have to always be a paid thing. I think it's good to volunteer your time, because I think you get exposed to a lot more runners that you never would have. if you're just volunteering your time. So I always look for ways to, help runners, like you said, that maybe don't have access to it. And there's tons of ways you can get involved. It doesn't even have to be specifically runners. Like you can get involved with Special Olympics, or I work very closely with a group called Ainsley's Angels, which helps runners who maybe they are not able to run, but you're giving them the opportunity to run by pushing them in chariots at races. And that's a very rewarding experience. While it may not be coaching, you're giving access to people who may not be able to run without you.
Yeah. I mean, that's the big thing of accessibility. It's increasing that access and having entry points in different places for people to explore running. And it's always such a great thing to see other women and women who truly love the sport opening up the sport, right? Where you're like, okay, I'm working with, and that's, what I thought, where it's like, oh, exposure in different areas, exposure to people that maybe don't fit the typical profile of the runners you work with. But again, people who running could be their next love. If only they felt like it was welcoming for them, or like they had that resource, and to have one of the first resources of running be a run coach. I mean, that's pretty incredible. Like you're going to set them up for success regardless. So I love all of that. Thank you for sharing that. Final question is, where can people connect with you? Where can they check you out, get more information about you as a coach and your coaching services? And then do you have, aside from giving birth, anything else running related that's coming up over the next few months?
Sure. So if you want to learn about my coaching services, it's just True Potential Running. They have an Instagram page, and there's a link on there to all of our coaching services. We have all different levels of coaching, and you can find me on there. And then you can also reach out to me directly on Instagram. It's K_Stokes829. And if you're just interested in coaching, I can also directly put you in contact with True Potential. And then also you can follow along with me, because I try to give some good running advice on there, but also make running fun too. Because I think sometimes as runners, we get so caught up in the data and the details and the PRs that sometimes it's good just to take a step back and laugh at ourselves. So I try to make it very lighthearted, but also some training tips as well. What's coming up for me? So like I said, I think my spring season is going to be very light. I am going to potentially be maybe doing something in the spring, but I'm not going to announce that yet. Depends on how I feel. So I don't want to make any commitments yet. And then the big goal next year is Chicago. I think that's going to be my big postpartum first marathon. So I'm really excited. Chicago has always been on my bucket list. I got a guaranteed entry through a time that I ran at a previous marathon. COVID happened. So then I got so now I've had like the 3 years, and then found out I was pregnant. So I was like, okay, I probably shouldn't be doing this. So delayed it again. So I'm hoping third time's the charm, and it all goes well in 2023.
Oh, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed for you. That's the marathon that I go back to. I've had my highest marathon moments and my lowest marathon moments all on the Chicago course. So I'm also excited about that, because I absolutely love talking to people about Chicago and how unique of an experience it is compared to some of the other marathons. So I'm excited for you. Know that you have at least one person here cheering you on as you make your way to Chicago. And I just can't thank you enough for being here today and talking to me, and for giving me so much leniency with my technological issues that I think it's just gonna follow me. Like, that's just it. This is like day 3 in a row of technology issues. So I thank you so much for being here. And that's just it. Thank you. I can't wait to cheer you on in all that you do, and to see how you continue to educate us through your experience as you embark on this next beautiful, wonderful, but then also challenging experience. I like to say that you've ran marathons. So I like to think of it as, this is the metaphor I always come with. Your training is your pregnancy. Running the marathon is labor/giving birth, and having the baby is getting the medal at the end, where you're like, what just happened there? What did I do? I don't know if I can do this again. And then, Maybe some time passes and you're like, oh, I could totally do that again. Or maybe some time passes and you're like, no, I'm one and done with that experience. We're good. So I'm
I
going to
love
be,
that analogy.
yeah. So I'm also going to be curious to see how all of this, because it's all going to feed into your views on running, your philosophy as a coach, your philosophies and style with coaching, your life experience is going to bleed into that. So I truly can't wait to see what the next few months look like for you. And again, just cheer you on for Chicago.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And thank you for having me on. This was awesome.
Yeah, thanks. All right, everyone. Until next time, hopefully this is the last of the computer tech issues. If not, it's just going to be part of the experience here at Runners Roundtable. All right, everyone. See you next time. Bye.